Hey, chemistry. Okay, here's what we got today. We've got the little mini video here on do we really understand how to convert our pressure units? Our textbook gives us a ton of pressure units. We're not going to use them all. It kind of introduces you to a lot of them. Obviously, whatever job you have in the future is actually going to dictate what pressure unit you have. Um, so, for example, some of you who drive or who like to ride bikes or four wheelers, anything with wheels, you're going to probably be used to hearing PSI. Okay, that's pressure per square inch. Okay, so that tells us how much pressure is in the tire so that the tire can be inflated. Okay, obviously, we don't use those. In chemistry class because we don't deal with the English. If we're talking about inches, that's our unit that we use here in the United States, and we don't use that in a science classroom. Okay, so the one you'll sometimes see is called torricelli. We call it a torr. One torr is literally the same thing as 1 millimeter of mercury. Okay, so they have a one-to-one relationship. You'll sometimes see pascals. We really don't use pascals a lot. We mostly use kilopascals. So all this is a conversion of metric, changing the kilo prefix down to the base unit. So we're just taking the kilo off. So 1,000 base units equals 1 big kilo. Okay, these are the ones that we actually use the most. Okay, we have 1 for atmospheres. We have 101.3 kPa for kilopascals. We have 760 for millimeters of mercury. These are what I call the magic numbers. You have to memorize these numbers. You need to know that if you're talking about millimeters of mercury, it should be 760. Here's what I need you to understand. These are the magic numbers. These represent the pressure, what it should be at sea level. Okay, so the average pressure here at sea level, and we happen to live at sea level, if we're talking about atmospheres, it's 1 atmosphere. If we're talking about kilopascals, it's 101.3. If we're talking about millimeters of mercury, it's 760. Okay, now, you do not have to go from atmospheres into kilopascals into millimeters of mercury. These are all interchangeable. So atmospheres can turn into kilopascals. Atmospheres can turn into millimeters of mercury, and vice versa. I guess I should probably have an arrow on both ends. Okay, and same thing with kilopascals into millimeters of mercury. Okay, that's a direct conversion that we can do in kilopascals into atmospheres. Okay, these are all direct conversions that we can do. So let's say somebody says you have 10 atmospheres and I want you to convert it to millimeters of mercury. Okay, not a problem. So I'm going to take my 10 atmospheres times, draw my line, basic dimensional analysis. Make sure you're setting these up so that your units cancel out. Atmospheres have to go on the bottom so that we can get rid of them. Atmospheres can turn into millimeters of mercury. Okay, and if we look up here, our magic numbers, our magic number for atmosphere is always 1. Our magic number for millimeters of mercury is 760. Okay, so 10 times 760 divided by 1. Okay, our atmospheres cancel out. Obviously gives us 7,600 millimeters of mercury. Okay, that's it. That's all it is. Okay, let's say they wanted kilopascals. Okay, into millimeters of mercury. So let's say we have 300 kilopascals, very high pressure. And I want to change that into millimeters of mercury. Kilopascals has to go on the bottom, so I can cancel that out. Millimeters of mercury goes on top. Okay, the magic number for kilopascals right up here, 101.3. The magic number for millimeters of mercury, 760. And that obviously is not as easy as 10 times 760. So let's turn this guy on. 300 times 760 divided by 101.3 equals. Okay. Here we go. 2250.74 millimeters of mercury. Obviously, if this were a test, we'd be rounding that to proper sig figs. I probably wouldn't give you just one significant digit because, I mean, look at that answer. That would just drop to 2,000. Okay, so please make sure you remember to deal with sig figs. Okay, hope that helped. Have a great day.